So, good morning and welcome to this week's Breakfast with Mike. And this week, we're going to talk about the buyer broker agreement. But more importantly, we're going to talk about the buyer broker agreement and how you, as an agent who is complying with the law, can use it to actually increase your business. I know that sounds a little bit left of center, but then again, what isn't? Good ideas come from somebody trying to do something. If you ever look at somebody who's made a mistake is just evidence that they tried to do something. So I'm going to try to do something. Might be a mistake. I don't think so, but I'm going to try to do something. I'm going to try to use the buyer broker agreement to help you to make some more money. Now, here's the thing about it. This is how this started, okay? As you know, if you've been around me at all, I've talked about buyer brokerage for many, many years. And I've always encouraged any students that I have to use a buyer broker agreement. I teach them how to make sure they're always going to get paid. I teach them how to handle the objections when they come up. I've done all of that. And most of my students will use that buyer broker agreement all the time, if not all the time, pretty much all the time. Okay. Yeah, every once in a while there's an exception. I wish they didn't, but they do. And I thought about this because when the law actually changed, which was last year, when they made it the law, not a suggestion anymore, it's the law that you have to use a buyer broker agreement with a buyer. That's the law. I had somebody today that told me they took somebody to a house and I asked them how many stop signs they ran along the way. They said, no. I said, of course not, because that's the law. And yet we have people out there that don't use them. Now, the interesting thing was a year ago, the way I kept reading about it was the expectation was that when they made this the law and started requiring agents to get a buyer broker signed, that income was going to go down. That buyer agents were going to start making less money. That's what all the studies said. Okay. Buyer brokers are going to start making less money. And eventually, what they're thinking was it would drive them out of the business. Okay. Because they're going to be making less and less. So I did a little bit of research and I just kind of checked on, okay, we're a year past it. Where are we at? How much less are they making? And guess what? They're not making less. They're actually making slightly more. Now you can look it up. Don't take my word for it. Look up, our buyer brokers making more money now that the law has changed. You can word it any way you want, because I worded it 2 or 3 different ways to see if it was consistent, and it was. It went up. Didn't go up a lot, but it went up. And it went up in every price range. If you looked at it and you went like less than 500,000, it went up. If you went 500,000 to a million, it went up. If you went over a million, I did not expect this one, but if you went over a million, it still went up. Not a lot, but the point is it was supposed to drop. They really thought it was going to drop like a rock and all these agents were going to get out of the business. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Imagine that. They were wrong. Who knows what's going to happen in the next few years? But my thinking is this is an opportunity for people. And it's an opportunity for you. Because you all know agents that are out there that are not using the buyer broker agreement. They're breaking the law. And whatever happens to them will happen down the road. I got nothing to do with that, nor do I care. They'll get caught and they'll lose their license eventually. I think I had one person that turned around and said that in their state it takes 3 times, which means they'll do it twice so that they don't get caught, and then they'll lose the license the 3rd time. But I don't even, that's irrelevant to me. I want to help you to make more money. So I want you to think about this for a second, okay? If you're sitting down with a buyer and you're talking to them as you're supposed to. You're doing your consultation with them. And you go over everything that's going to happen. Eventually, it's going to come down to the contract. And now you're going to read them the contract, what you're going to do for them, what they're expected to do, and what your fee is for doing that. Now, my guess is they're going to question the fee. I can't prove this, but I believe they're going to question the fee. Why do I think that? Because all of the years that I used to list and sell, they always question the fee. It doesn't matter whether I was working with a seller or a buyer, they always question the fee. Doesn't mean that they don't pay you, but they'll question it. It's no different than you go look for a car and it says, well, this is how much it is. Do you just automatically say to the dealer, okay? No, you typically will question it. And sometimes they'll come down and sometimes they won't, but you'll at least question it. And that's what I think a lot of buyers will still do right now when you sit down with them. And the question that I have is, if there are buyer agents out there that are not using the buyer broker agreement, can we use that to help you? And I think the answer is yes. Because when a buyer says to you, well, you're not the only one that I'm talking to. I'm talking to so-and-so, or I'm doing this, and they're not asking me to sign anything. You think that's happening? Because I do. Well, I've got a response. Would you like to hear it? Well, you're going to. Because my response would be, see, that would concern me. Because it's the law now. It's not a suggestion anymore. It's the law that we sign an agreement. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is, if they're not telling you that, if they're keeping something from you like that, what else might they be keeping from you? See, I think we use what they're doing against them. You want to make sure you get it signed? Make sure that the person you're sitting with understands this is the law. And yes, there are agents out there who are breaking the law. That's not our concern. Our concern would be, do you really want to hire somebody that's breaking the law? Because if they're willing to do that, what else will they hide? What are they not telling you? What else are they not telling you? I think if you use this properly, you will get more buyer brokers signed easier and quicker and without issue, because you are being honest with them. Now, do I expect that they'll still try to get you down on your commission? Yeah, but that's a whole nother session. We can handle that some other time when we're handling those objections. But you have a lot of competition out there. There are a whole lot more people that work buyers than there are working sellers. We know how to handle the seller objections. But you got a lot of people that are, well, let's just say that they're in this for a hobby. This is not what they do for a living. There's a lot of them out there. This is a hobby. That's all it is. If they run into a couple of deals, fine. I used an analogy earlier in the week, and I'm going to share it with you right now. I almost did this as a full topic, but I shared it with all the regular students. So if you ever go fishing, chances are, if you see the boat, the fish are not jumping into the boat. They're not just jumping out of the water into the boat. You got to put the fishing rod out there. You got to use the right bait. You got to know what you're doing before you get the fish. They don't just jump in the boat. But realtors, a lot of them, not you, of course, but that's what they're expecting. They're expecting people to just jump in the boat and say, I want to buy. I'm going to use you. Too many realtors just think that these buyers are going to fall out of the sky. They're not. And even if they do, you've got more competition. There are more agents that are working that side, clearly more than work the listing side. So if you're going to work some buyers, and by the way, I fully expect you will, there are very few agents that work 100% sellers. Okay. Everybody works some buyers. And if you're working somebody who you already know, odds are this is not going to be an issue. They'll pay you a full commission. It's not an issue. I've heard some people turn around and say, well, I'm not worried about a contract with somebody I know. Well, you better be. It's the law. And eventually, what's going to happen is National Association of Realtors is going to get bored. So they're going to start sending some testers out there to see how many people they have that are complying with the law. You don't want to be in that. So let's avoid that. Let's just follow the law and get a buyer broker agreement signed. You wouldn't take a listing without a listing contract. Why would you work a buyer without a buyer contract? Well, because, don't justify it. But you can start using it against those who are not following the law by just putting something out there to the buyers and saying, if they're not telling you this, what else are they not telling you? See, that would concern me. I'll always be honest with you. I'll always be straight with you. I'll always tell you everything. You can depend on that. And if I don't, fire me. But you won't get that opportunity because I'll always tell you. I'm worried about those people that won't tell you. Why would you sign anything with them? Why would you work with them in the first place? Anyway, it's just an idea. Might work, might not. Definitely won't work if we don't try it. And right now, there's a lot of people out there that I keep hearing, well, I thought they were more motivated than they are. One way to find out if somebody's motivated is if they commit to you. Just like you're committing to them. Why would you commit to somebody who's not serious? You wouldn't. Why would they commit to you if they're not serious? Chances are they wouldn't, which is sometimes why they'll battle you on signing something. I hope this helps. I hope you get a chance to use it. Let me know if you do. If you got any other questions, all you got to do is, look at the information at the back of this, and it'll have all my contact info. Wish you were here to ask some questions. I got a funny feeling I got a few because just the way they're looking at me today. Anyway, wish you were here. Maybe next time. For now, have a great week, and maybe we'll see you soon.